Hi you guys, this is Jamie with Whatever's Clever Boutique, and today I have this super cute cocoa mug. I am absolutely obsessed with it. I hope you guys love it as much as I do. I will have everything that I use listed and linked down in the description box below. Talking appears to be hard today. And I will have some discount codes down there for you as well. So let's go ahead and get started on making this super cute shimmy cocoa what tumbler. We're gonna start with a mug. This is a 30 ounce, I believe. It was just a random mug I had sitting in my cupboard. And I have this little marshmallow print from B&B Glitter. And I bought this 6.5 by 12, so it's scaled down actually. She does have a bigger version of this as well. And I used a wave SVG from Made by Manny and Mel, and I used my silhouette to cut that wave out for me. So I sized it accordingly to the width of my tumbler, and I'm just gonna take my transfer tape here, and I'm trying to keep the other part of the vinyl intact so I can use it again later and not just waste it and pull it up. So I put my transfer tape down there on the bottom portion of the wave, and then I went ahead and applied that to the tumbler. We're going to use our hinge method like we generally do for vinyl, and it is a little bit harder with this handle, and I got off a little bit and got a little bit crooked, but it was nothing I couldn't remedy. And as you can see here, I got a little bit off when applying that, so I'm just going to go in with my X-Acto knife and just trim off a little section there so that my wave continues pretty seamlessly. Now I will say in hindsight, I should have just glittered this tumbler and then applied the vinyl after the fact, because man, taping this thing off was a pain in the tail. So all I'm gonna do here is tape off this entire vinyl section so that I can spray paint and add my glitter. So again, if you go to remake this, please glitter first. It will save you so much time. But I'm just gonna go ahead and show you my process so you can see how I got to the end result. Once it's all taped off, we're going to spray the bottom portion of this tumbler brown and the top white. For our glitters today, we're going to use bronzer and Manifest, both from Peachy Olive Glitters. And I am just going to slowly work my way. Oh, I do use Bright as well. Sorry about that. I sprinkle that over the top of it after I get it all ombreed. But we're going to go ahead and start here with bronzer. And I'm just going to slowly ombre these two colors together. I think I ended up taking 3 passes at this to get the full effect that I loved. And once our colors are perfectly ombre together, I'm going to go ahead and take some parchment paper and just press down and be sure that I don't have any pokey spots or anything like that on the tumbler so that my epoxy goes on smooth. Then we're going to go ahead and remove all of that painter's tape. Once all of that tape is removed and our epoxy is cured, we're going to go in with 2 coats of epoxy. I love my KSRESIN Liquidy Split Ultra UV epoxy. Once those 2 coats are dry, I did my sanding, and then I'm going to take this brown nail striping tape and I'm just going to tape off the vinyl and glitter seam there along my little snowman marshmallow vinyl. Slow and steady wins the race with this one. I do have this really sped up because it did take me quite a while. You just slowly press the striping down onto the tumbler with your finger as you are moving the stripe down, if that makes sense. So you just have your finger behind, trailing down and pressing down that striping. Now for our decal, I found this on Etsy. I will go ahead and link it below. I do not recall the shop's name, but I fell in love with it. So I have my white offset. I have this super cute holographic-y brown and red, and then my black. So we're just gonna go ahead and start layering, and I'm actually gonna do the layering on the tumbler itself. So I'm gonna lay this white offset directly on the tumbler, and then just take my other elements and slowly add them to the offset. And once we get that decal all put on, we're going to go in with 1 coat of epoxy to seal in that vinyl work. Now for our cocoa drip. I have some fast set epoxy here, my KSRESIN Liquidy Split Ultra UV epoxy that is all mixed and ready to go. I use some brown acrylic paint and some brown mica, and I'm just going to mix those two slowly together. I will say with fast set epoxy, you do have to work a little bit quicker because it can cure in an instant. Like so fast, all of a sudden it'll just be cured. So I got that all mixed together. I would say this maybe took me a total of, 15 minutes before I had it from the start of mixing my epoxy to when I applied it to the tumbler. So while that's sitting, I have this peppermint on ice from KSRESIN. I have these little marshmallows that I actually used on a prior tutorial. And then these little faux, I think they're like white chocolate pieces. I'm not entirely sure, but they were cute. So as you can see here, my epoxy is not fully set. But what I have found with the fast set epoxy is that when you take the epoxy that's a little bit warm and apply it to the tumbler, it starts to harden almost instantly because it's cold on the tumbler. So the hot and cold, something about it makes the epoxy cure really quickly. So I'm gonna do my best to work fast and try and get this drip on the tumbler as quickly as I can. And then I'm gonna tilt my tumbler upside down. By upside down, I mean upright, if you will. And I'm gonna pat down on the table to try and get it to drip down for me. Now to add some extra drip, I'm gonna take some little pieces, by little pieces, I mean little scoops of our epoxy, and I'm just gonna set it right on the rim there in the spots that I want it to drip a little bit more. Sorry my camera angle isn't super great here for you to be able to see that, but that is how I can articulate what it is I'm doing there. Once we get our drip all applied, I'm just gonna pop any air bubbles with my torch really quickly. You don't want this torch to sit on this epoxy for too long so we don't scald it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take 3 of these cute little marshmallows, and I'm just gonna set them on the handle side. I just think it looks best over there. You can put the marshmallows wherever you would like though. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take my little peppermint pieces, and that's all I'm gonna use from that mix is the peppermint. So as you can see here, I'm just pulling those out. And then I'm going to sporadically apply those to the drip. And last but not least, I'm going to go in with my little faux white chocolate pieces and just apply those sporadically to the drip as well. Now, as you saw me applying that drip, my epoxy got pretty stringy. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and take some rubbing alcohol and a cloth and just rub it right over top of where that little stringy piece is, and it takes it right off for me. Once that's all cured, I'm going to go in with my X-Acto knife to clean up that rim from the messy drip. And then I'm just going to go ahead and go in with 2 final coats of epoxy. And I avoided epoxy over those marshmallows just because they're soft. So I put the epoxy around them, but not all the way over the top. And then once that is all cured, our tumbler is finished and I am obsessed. It is so stinking cute. I hope you guys love it as much as I do. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And I hope you're enjoying this series as much as I enjoyed making them. This has been so much fun, and I had fun shopping at all these different places, getting new products that I get to try out. And ultimately, it's been so much fun and has sparked so much inspiration and excitement back into my crafting. So I can't wait to be back with you guys tomorrow for another super fun tutorial, and I hope you have a great rest of your evening.